Alright, so welcome back to some more MX versus ATV Supercross Encore. Today we are going to be checking out what the best bike in Supercross Encore is. More specifically, what, for me, personally, is the best bike in Supercross Encore. And it's really no secret, I believe the 450 is. I do know that some guys are incredibly fast on the 250s, and they're actually pretty close, but we'll talk about that when we get into the video. We're going to run one lap on all 6 manufacturer DLC 450s and one lap on the Nordic bike, which is essentially the same thing as the Rainbow one, and those are the 2 free ones that come with the game that you don't have to pay for. And we're going to do this at the James Stewart South track. Alright, so to start things off, we are going to use the Honda CRF 450. Now again, we're going to do one lap, and all these laps are pretty close to the same. I tried really hard to hit the same lines. I'm not a consistent guy. I don't play Encore anymore, hardly ever. I'm not good at the game anymore. I tried. I tried to get even laps, you know, so nothing looked way better than the other, because I personally feel that all the bikes are the same, comparing themselves to each other. So taking the 450 to all the other 450s, I think they're all the same once they're fully upgraded. I don't think any of the upgrade parts, I don't think any of them are different from other ones. Like if you put a Pro Circuit pipe on it, I don't think it makes it worse or better than if you stuck an FMF pipe on it. I think once you have a fully upgraded 450, they're all equal. That's how I feel, okay? And I feel the same about the 250F, the 252 strokes, the 125s, you know, whatever. I feel like they're all equally comparable to each other. If you ask other people, if you ask guys that play the game a whole lot more than me, that are a whole lot better than me, some of them say that they think that there's differences. I don't know if they think big differences or small differences, but some of them think that they're different from each other. Some of them think that parts make a difference, you know, whether it be an FMF pipe is better than the Pro Circuit or whatever. Some of them think that. I'm not saying they're wrong, okay? I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying this is my opinion, and people ask me, so I'm giving you my opinion, and that's what I think. I think they're all the same. I could be wrong, but that's how I feel. I played the game, I mean, a decent amount. Not as much as some of the really good guys, but I've played it enough that I feel like there's not really any difference. And if there is, it's like super small, super subtle differences. I also know a few guys that are really fast that don't really think there's a difference. I think for me, what it comes down to more, I might be having a good day on this Husky 450 right here. Okay, so I'm like, oh, I really like the Husky. It's awesome. And then tomorrow, I might jump on the RMZ 450 and have an awful day. And, oh, you know, this bike's terrible. This bike sucks. No, it's not really that. I think it's just I'm having a bad day in Encore, or I'm having a good day in Encore. It's not because one bike's better, it's just because I'm having an off day or I'm having a really good day. Everything's clicking. That's what I think it comes down to more, and I've had a few people say that, I've had quite a few people say that they think that it's like that too. It's not really anything. Also, I think maybe it might be, like for me at least, it could be a little in my head. You know, I get so used to looking at the back of one bike and everything. Like this Husky looks totally different than this RMZ right here. And so you get so used to looking at the back of one bike that when you switch it, it just throws you off a little bit. But overall, I think they're all the same. I've had MX versus ATV tell me that they should be all identical, like comparing, you know, CC to CC, so 450s to 450s and so on and so forth. And again, I feel like that is true as well. Now, I'm not saying that anything else isn't better. This is just my opinion. I think that the 450 is best. I know that there's 250 guys that can run wicked fast laps, that can blow by me, lap me on the track. There's guys that are so fast on that. And I know if you look at leaderboards, some of the lap times are super close, like within tenths of a second. You know, some of the 250 guys are really fast, like just as fast as the 450 guys. I'm not even sure that some of the 250 guys might not have a faster lap time. I don't think so, but again, don't freak out. I could be wrong. I think they're really close, but I think usually the 450 has just a little edge. Also, I think the 450 has an edge on tracks like 2017 Las Vegas. There's a couple really long straightaways there, and I think that the 450 has a little more top speed, so it can kind of pull away. So if you take the exact same guy and put him on both bikes, I think he'd beat himself on the 450 if he was equally comfortable, just because he has a little more top speed. Each bike has its positives and negatives. You know, the 450 has this huge clutch boost in first gear, and it has a little more top speed, but it doesn't corner. I mean, you can square off corners really good, I think a little quicker than the 250, and that's kind of how I play with it. But the 250, I think, kind of handles a little better. It definitely can go around, like round out the corners, round out the berm, instead of squaring it off so much better than the 450. But it has to kind of, you know, be able to carry your momentum. Now, one side note, and I'm not saying the Yamaha is the worst bike. If I go back and try to remember here, when I was trying to get these laps, because I'm inconsistent and I'm no good at Encore anymore. I used to be okay, but I just don't play it enough anymore. I struggled more on the YZ 450 than anything else. It took me 3 times as long. You can tell because look how dirty I am. You can tell that I was on the track for a lot longer. It took me 3 times as long to not even get a great lap to try and have them equal than it did with anything else. But in its defense, it was the last bike that I used. I went through everything else and this was the last one, and I was kind of getting tired of just running the same lap, trying to get the same line over and over again. So I mean, I didn't even get that line, but yeah, I think they're all the same. And then this last one we're going to run at the day here on the Nordic 450, just because I wanted you to know that you can do the same thing on this. I know it looks like the YZ, but it's not. It's the Nordic bike, and we run the exact same lines basically. So I think they're all the same. I don't think there's any difference. Curious to know what you guys think. You'll have to let me know in the comments what your favorite bike is, what you think the best bike in the game is. Again, the 450 for me is the best bike in the game, but it's because it's what I've used for 2.5 years since the game has been out, and I've gotten comfortable with being able to square corners off and clutch boost and then go through the gears like I do. And that's another thing, if you are just getting the game, maybe start off on the 250. It's a little easier to learn. I think you can control it a little bit better, and when you can, try to switch over to the manual transmission, because I definitely think that's definitely the way to go. So there you have it. That is my opinion on what the best bike in Supercross Encore is. I believe it's the 450. Again, I know there's guys that maybe aren't as good on the 450, but super, super fast on the 250. You just have to play with them different. You have to use them completely different. I'm not good on the 250, but it's because I don't use it. I just prefer this. So that's what I think. And again, I want to keep saying this because people get so annoyed by it. If you think that each 450, each 250 handles different, and each part that is added as an upgrade makes it control or handle different, good for you, okay? I'm not saying you're wrong. That's just not how I feel. And people have been asking me, so I wanted to give my opinion, not somebody else's opinion. That's how I feel. Again, let me know down in the comments what you think the best bike in Supercross Encore is, and if you think there is a difference. I'm curious. Comparing 450 to 450. Obviously, there's a difference between 450 and 250 and so on and so forth, but do you believe that there is a difference between each individual bike in its respective CC class? Curious to know. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up. You guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on this series for as long as you have. It really means a lot. And until the next video, take it easy.